Hello guys, welcome to the Alrasta channel to discuss and explain the exciting storyline of your favorite series, SwallowedStar episode 221. In the previous episode, after a long conflict in the original star, Luofeng returned to human territory with power equivalent to a universe master and successfully regained full rights over Earth. Together with the Chaos City Lord, he met the manifestation of the Yuan ancestor, the legendary hero and creator of the virtual universe, who is currently being suppressed by the laws of the universe because his power broke the limits. After spending years training, Luofeng successfully mastered the second form of the Shiwu wings, creating the highly lethal Golden Country technique that was proven capable of destroying an entire planet in an instant. His journey continued when he was summoned by the two-faced ancestral god, who gave him a crucial secret mission from the will of the original universe to eradicate a mysterious threat. So, what happens next? Alright, without further ado, let's get right into the story. At the beginning of the episode, located in the Yuano secret region, we are shown a treasure that the ruler of the region is incredibly proud of. The owner even claims that he will be invincible with that treasure. Well, what exactly is this treasure, guys? To find out, let's watch this video until the end. Meanwhile, after an 8-day journey, Luofeng finally arrived at the outskirts of the Yuanao secret region. Along the way, Babata explained that the Yuanao secret region is the territory of a figure named Yuanao, a Tier 3 universe master. Not only that, as a special life form with a high-level genetic makeup, he obviously possesses massive power, but he has always been a lone wolf, unattached to any major faction. Maybe because he's lonely and single for life, he even has a habit of massively collecting inhabitants from weaker races across the universe, totaling over hundreds of different races, and placing them on the 12 continents under his control. The Yuanao master's method of managing his territory is also considered very unique as well as cruel. He intentionally created a system where the inhabitants are forced to continuously breed and engage in endless warfare just to give birth to strong fighters at the Immortal or even Universe Venerable level. Even though these Venerables aren't a significant threat to Luofeng, he remains on guard because his goal here is to investigate suspicious activities rumored to endanger the laws of the universe itself. When Luofeng entered one of the 12 continents in the Yuanao secret region named Juean Land, he discovered the slavery and oppression experienced by most of the weaker races and tribes along his journey. While wandering around and observing the inhabitants' activities, he learned about all the tragic stories happening to the weak races in this land. It started with murders and gladiator fights, or what you could call damatio ad bestias, and went as far as areas filled with millions of rotting warrior skulls. When Luofeng landed on a desolate black plain, he brought out the golden toad, which still showed no signs of the Sharingan appearing in its eyes. Babata's analysis explained that her toad's sensory range was only 100 million kilometers. Considering the diameter of the smallest of these 12 continents spans 1 light year and the largest spans 8 light years, searching through all 12 continents would take a massive amount of time. It was estimated this mission could take decades. But the good news is Luofeng had a great idea to save time, finding the first individual as a starting point, which would surely lead to finding the connections between all of them. After a long and exhausting search, the golden toad's eyes suddenly turned glowing red, indicating that the sought-after threat was within its sensory range. This good news immediately triggered excitement from Babata, and she directly squeezed the toad after waiting so long for it to show its Sharingan eyes. This time, Luofeng would check for signs of living beings around him. During his inspection, Luofeng's attention was diverted to a monster rider named Bu-Ah, who was being chased by soldiers from the mighty Flame Fortress. The reason Bu-Ah was fleeing was to fight for his life so he could avenge his massacred tribe. But the bad news is, during his escape, the leader of the mighty Flame Fortress was already blocking his path, sending him flying with a blast of fire from the opponent in front of him. Cornered by the enemy's encirclement, Bu-Ah struggled to get back up to fight, ready to die to defeat his enemies. Seeing Bu-Ah helpless, the enemy leader insulted and degraded Bu-Ah for having low-level genes, deeming him unworthy of living on the Juean Land continent. However, none of them realized that a super-strong being was watching them, and right when Bu-Ah's enemies attacked him all at once, Luofeng stopped the flow of time in that area, freezing all the enemy troops and ferocious beasts instantly in their respective positions. Luofeng was already standing behind the enemy leader, and he had successfully found one of his targets. Using a soul-searching technique, Luofeng extracted information from this person's memories, revealing that he was a bloodthirsty and cruel figure. After Luofeng dug into who the mastermind behind all this was, it turned out this guy was a soul slave of a universe venerable named Julian Shushin, or as referred to in the novel, the torch-smelting master god. Luofeng wondered to himself, how could a mere universe venerable disrupt the order of the universe's laws? Seeing Bua's tragic fate after his entire tribe was massacred, out of MC sympathy, Luofeng decided to give an unimaginable gift to such a weak creature. In the end, Luofeng gave him a magical fruit from his collection. Instantly, the process was able to elevate Bua's genetic level and power, rapidly boosting his strength from the Star Traveler level to a Stage 9 Universe level warrior. After performing that little miracle, Luofeng immediately vanished and flew toward the main target he had been eyeing for a while, leaving Bua, who now possessed devastating power to take revenge on his enemies. Bua felt an excruciating amount of pain as his body's genetic structure was forced to evolve at an insane speed by the energy Luofeng gave him. After the pain subsided, he realized that all his senses had been enhanced thousands of times over. His physical strength had now reached the pinnacle saint level, a unique power ranking named by the people of the Jueyan land continent. Elsewhere, Luofeng's main focus this time was centered on tracking the golden toad, whose eyes were still glowing red, and Luofeng had already successfully tracked a total of 13 immortal fighters on this continent. A huge chunk of these immortals' memories showed that they were all soul slaves of Venerable Julian. Without a second thought, Luofeng wiped them all out without a trace, just as the two-faced ancestral god had ordered earlier. Upon further investigation, Luofeng estimated that with the power Venerable Julian possessed, it definitely wasn't enough to pose any kind of threat to the original universe. One possibility was that the real mastermind wasn't among these subordinates, but rather the supreme ruler of these 12 continents, the Yuano master. But to confirm it further, Luofeng was now at Venerable Julian's palace, and without a single shred of hesitation, he annihilated all the immortal fighters there, along with Venerable Julian himself. As for the slaves below the immortal level, Luofeng let them all go. After killing the Yuano master's lackeys, Luofeng was absolutely certain that the root cause of his mission this time was the Yuano master. To track down the main mastermind, Luofeng unleashed his golden country until it covered the entirety of Jueyan land, which spanned several light years in diameter. However, it seemed Luofeng's efforts were in vain because the Yuano master himself was hiding inside his god country. After that, we are shown the atmosphere inside the Yuano master's god country, which has a structure like a volcanic crater with several floating islands in the air above it, chained to one another with massive chains. Following Venerable Julian's death, he rose from the hot lava. Just as he predicted, once his plan was set in motion, the ancestral god sect, as the guardians of the universe's laws, would definitely take swift action. However, in his opinion, the ancestral god sect alone wasn't enough to fall into his trap, and this time he was going to bait other major factions like the Demon Race, the Space Beast Alliance, and the Northern Territory Alliance. His first goal was to bait the universe masters of the ancestral god sect, but for his initial step this time, he was going to get rid of the kid from the ancestral god sect first. Back in the Yuano secret region, on one of the 12 continents named the Magao continent, the inhabitants there saw the webs of Luofeng's golden country technique. This time, to bait the Yuano master out, Luofeng had destroyed the palaces owned by the 5 rulers of that continent. These 5 rulers possessed power at the universe venerable level, and their movements were currently locked down, about to be executed by Luofeng. Right in the middle of the execution process, the Yuano master finally appeared in person with his fire domain to counter Luofeng's golden country, which was currently dominating the area. Although the flames didn't harm the ordinary inhabitants, their presence was aimed at nullifying the effects of Luofeng's golden country domain and providing protection for his loyal followers. Amidst this domain clash, one of Yuano's slaves burned his divine body to break free from Luofeng's golden binds. Seizing the opportunity while Luofeng was busy with the Yuano master, he mobilized all his remaining divine body to attack Luofeng from behind. But Luofeng stayed calm and revealed another trump card. He brought out the 9 Tiger River treasure, which formed a giant golden river that instantly crushed one of the Yuano slaves' bodies without leaving a trace. Seeing this, The other slaves were shocked that Luofeng could defeat a Universe Venerable figure in a single move. This also sparked fear among the other slaves, because the silver-winged figure in front of them likely had power on par with their master, the Yuano master. Because he had killed so many of his slaves, it triggered immense fury from the Yuano master, who felt deeply insulted in his own territory. Openly, and with a tone entirely devoid of fear, Luofeng explained that his arrival here was under orders from the ancestral god sect to eradicate Yuano and the lackeys beneath him. Seeing Luofeng acting so arrogantly, Yuano wasn't going to lose out on the trash talk. He revealed that he had explored the universe extensively and fought on his own to reach the level of a universe master. With his current power, not even other universe masters could kill him. But he was curious. How could Luofeng, who was still just a Universe Overlord with minimal experience, kill him? Naturally, he thought it was absolutely impossible. Observing the domain power conflict between both sides, Babata's analysis revealed that the Yuano master's divine body reached 1,000,000 kilometers in size and had a much higher purity than Luofeng's. In fact, during the first era after the original universe was born, he had collected countless true treasures. Not only that, but in the past, even the Star River Master from the Northern Territory Alliance, a Tier 5 Universe Master, was unable to kill him. Not wanting any innocent parties to be affected by the battle, Luofeng kindly offered a duel challenge elsewhere, because if the Yuano Master wanted to do it here, Luofeng wouldn't care if his territory was destroyed. To uphold his pride as the ruler of the region, Yuano agreed to move to a battleground of his choosing. In an instant, the Golden Country and endless flames domains blanketing the continent's sky vanished, leaving the inhabitants in a chilling silence.
发生了什么事？
In the silent void of space, the domain clash erupted once again with incredibly high intensity. Luofeng deployed the Golden Country from his Shi Wu wings once more, combining it with the flow of the Nine Tiger River to suppress his opponent. Even though the Yuano Master retaliated with his immensely powerful Endless Flames, Luofeng realized that his control over space and time was now almost on par with a true god. He was super eager to test whether his techniques and treasures could subdue this arrogant ancient ruler. Yuano mentioned here that he wasn't the only cruel one. Luofeng was exactly the same for wiping out 6,000 Universe Venerables from various alliances. A fierce battle broke out as the Yuano Master pulled out a mace and a shield, slamming the mace against the shield, which automatically unleashed a fire attack that blasted toward Luofeng with incredible destructive force. This time, the Yuano Master underestimated Luofeng, saying that with his rookie-level experience, he was going to teach him a lesson for daring to provoke him. Using his full power, Luofeng parried the attack using the Peerless Guest Sword, and the energy explosion from the clash sent them both flying backward. This time, with follow-up attacks, Luofeng kept pressing on with his Golden Country and Nine Tiger River domains, but the Yuano Master countered by creating a highly destructive giant fire vortex technique to shatter Luofeng's domain. The mace attack he launched this time was different because it contained an evil energy that directly targeted Luofeng's mind. The effects of this attack were even on par with the Darkness Master's ultimate technique. When the mace attack almost hit Luofeng, thanks to the protection of his force armor and his solid mental fortitude, Luofeng was immune to the mental attack, and he finally launched a counterattack with the Peerless Guest Sword at full power. This time, Yuano didn't expect his ultimate technique to be blocked, and Luofeng's divine power didn't even weaken. What made him even madder was that his technique was completely brushed off by Luofeng guys. Seeing his attack fail to break through Luofeng's defenses, the Yuano Master decided to pull out the trump card he had been hiding all this time, which he had obtained in the most dangerous location of the Universe Ocean, after overcoming all sorts of obstacles and hardships during his exploration there. Tossing all his weapons aside, he pulled out a mysterious black object that radiated a terrifying aura across the entire area. The object was shaped like a piece of broken black wood, but it had extremely bizarre wood grain patterns and contained an energy pressure that surpassed most of the top-tier treasures Luofeng had ever seen. From this, Luofeng was certain that the source of the problem sensed by the ancestral god sect was this very object. The Yuano master even claimed that just one strike from this treasure was enough to instantly obliterate a Universe Master level fighter. Overflowing with confidence this time, combined with his wooden treasure, the Yuano master was going to tear Luofeng's body to shreds, leaving nothing behind. Meanwhile, the energy ripples from the mysterious object were detected all the way to the faraway demon race territory. The true god-level ruler, the dream demon ancestor, who takes the form of a giant silver snake, realized that something was up in the Yuano secret region. Not only that, it was the same in the Space Beast Alliance territory. Just from the aura alone, the ancestor sensed that the Yuano master had done something foolish by bringing a forbidden treasure into the original universe. And wow, the bombshell true god-level Zerg Empress felt it too. In response to this massive event, the Dream Demon Ancestor immediately ordered the Sky Wolf Master to act as a scout and head straight to the Yuan-Ao secret region. What exactly is this object that the Yuan-Ao Master brought, causing so many major factions to fight over it? Well, the SwallowedStar story is just getting more intense, guys. Alright, thanks for watching until the very last minute, and don't forget to keep supporting this channel by leaving a comment, hitting like, and subscribe if you haven't already. Okay, bye!
我为宇宙